Good morning, YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to stay up here just for about an hour, maybe. I don't know. And then I'm going to go over to TikTok. They say TikTok's supposed to be shutting down September the 5th. I don't know if it is. Oh, well. That'll give me more time to do another platform. I can go back on my Facebook. I'm never too comfortable with platforms. Like I said, this is more of a push for me. This is more of helping others and see the way chosen ones help others. Others is not going to like it because we don't pamper situations. We just tell it straight truth. We tell straight truth. We don't put no ointment, no baby powder, no baby oil. And see, people don't like that. And I already knew that I wasn't going to be liked well on on these platforms because I'm not going to settle and I'm not going to agree with something that I already know that the Almighty, want us to be. And the way us chosen ones have been awakening, we were dirty too. So I will keep that up to the up. I will make sure that I put that up before I even speak about who I am now. So I always keep who I used to be up because a lot of people is still trying to play the victim out here. A lot of people are still trying to, dodge healing out here. And I know that. So I know that I'm not going to be liked a lot like everybody else. I understand that I'm with that because I'd rather not be liked than be liked and have to shrink in front for people. I'm not going to shrink or I'm not going to front for nobody. Truth is truth, lies is lies. And once we detect that, because for these platforms, people be on these platforms just agreeing with anything just to get a following. I don't care about followers. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about just because I want a big platform. I don't care about a big platform. I don't care that it'll pay you a certain amount of money. I don't care about that. Because if that was the case, I would have a Cash App up here. I would have a PayPal up here. I would tell you like and these big platforms, sow a seed, sow a this, sow a that. I don't tell y'all to sow anything. I tell y'all to sow into yourselves. Now, I will tell you to do that. Sow into you, love you, take care of you, cleanse you, make sure you got you together before you get into anything else. I will tell you that. But I will not sit here and shrink or make people feel like they are something that they're not because I already know on this chosen journey, it's not an easy journey. There's days I just be like, man, myself. So if I'm like, man, myself, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, people sitting at home watching TV or people sitting around traveling or people pretending they don't have financial problems or people sitting around acting like they ain't got no type of traumas or they don't have no type of obstacles in their way throughout the day. No, that's a lie. That is a lie. And I'm not going to play the victim. Oh, you're a victim. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that. And this is where it get messy at with me because people know that I'm not finna play with their mess. I know people gonna fall off. I know people gonna unsubscribe. I know people may subscribe. I know people probably are finish. I know people won't watch me. Then I know they're gonna have to come back and watch me because my content is so contagious. I know that. Why? Because I am the light. I know that. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying that because it's divine. Heavenly Father is very contagious regardless if people follow him or not. They're going to always call out on him. They're going to always call on Jesus. They're going to always, they're going to get in a situation, Satan going to put them down on their knees and they're going to be like, Jesus, God, when it get real raw and real for them. So I already know that people are going to come back to this content and I already know the Father going to open up doors in due time. I always tell y'all he's not on Chronos time, he's on Kairos, on his timing. It may look like I'm down. It may look like I ain't gonna never get up. It may look like I'm gonna just keep struggling. But the Almighty wanted to look this way. That's how he do his things. He wanted to look like she's down, she's this, she's that, because he showed me who rock with me. He showed me who got an authentic heart. Even on these platforms, he showed me who's real and who's fake, who's trying to compare, who's trying to compete. He shows me. It's easy to see. I say I go by energies and frequencies. Last night I had a conversation. Give me a minute. I think I placed them on a little wrong. Or my little eyelashes is. I'm gonna have to get some more glue. I thought I placed them on. This glue I got is lightweight. My eyes are heavyweight. But anyways, I might have to put some more glue on them in a minute. I'm just trying to see if they come back up. Give me a minute. I don't be fronting. I don't be fake. I am who I am. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not fitting to play with it. But anyways, give me a second. Oh, by the way, good morning. I've been talking on TikTok, so I'm just jumping right into my message. Please forgive me. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Please forgive me. I was just talking a while ago, so I just immediately jumped into, give me a second, y'all. I just immediately jumped into the talking because I just got finished talking. Give me 1 second. I got to get this eyelash on. I got to get some glue on it. Hold on. There we go. I think that's on there, right? I wear the strip because I don't like them individuals because they will they pluck my eyelashes out. And I just do the strip because the strip don't pluck my eyelashes out. Yeah. But anyways, I was just talking over there on YouTube. I had an individual message me on YouTube. And he was just telling me that, you know, he appreciate the content. He appreciate the realness about me, that I won't sugarcoat anything. So we was engaging back and forth. And he was asking me my opinion about a situation. And and good morning. Good morning to everybody. Anybody that watch me on a replay, it don't matter. But good morning to you. And I told him about a situation that he wanted some clarity on. And one thing I learned about going through this journey and dealing with many people that has been dealing with their fake selves, meaning their personas, putting on a mask, pretending to be something they're not. One thing I learned about individuals like that, and not just out in this world, but in my family lineage as well. It's too many people around here performing, pretending, saying things just to get attention, saying things to make people look up to them, saying things to get your energy, to make them have energy. Me, myself, and I personally, as I told him, everybody have to go within. It ain't no exception to the rules. Everybody that's at a certain age bracket, that now that you have insight on what's really going down in this earth, every individual have to go within and face their nakedness. That's why when they call it subconscious, you know what's real, what's within is real, but what's without, people can freaking front it. It's like a camouflage, it's a costume. That is so sad, especially with our ages. I'm 50. I'm 50 flat. I refuse to play like I'm 20 flat. I refuse to play the games like I was 30 flat, in my early 40s flat. I refuse to play a game once I know the truth. I'm not going to still not do the truth once I know the truth. And once you know the truth, y'all know I'm working, so y'all know I'm going to be looking up there. Once you know the truth, you're going to do the truth. Like he was saying with this narcissist, he was talking about what did I feel about narcissistic content. It's garbage. And I just gave him that flat line, garbage. Because when you look at these narcissistic channels, it's only like they separating the wheat from the tare, like the Almighty do. He separate the sheep from the goat, the wheat from the tare. It's like a separation, like the one that is gullible, vulnerable, and desperate, the one that's overbearing, grandiose, egotistical, lies, master manipulators. They act like they have the upper hand. No, they don't. And y'all know this. No, they do not. They're getting played too. I've been around it too long to sit here and look at these channels and pretend like the victim, like the other individual is a victim. No, the other individual is not a victim. The other individual know how to get supply as well in a sneaky, cunning, and crafty way. It's biblical. It's biblical. He won't talk to me. Your family trained you to be that way. Your family trained you to not to be talked or to look for communication. Your mama done did that to you. Your daddy done did that to you. Your granny or your grandpa or somebody in the family or some guardianship or somebody that raised you did that to you behind closed doors because you would never went into a relationship and allowed that type of situation to go down if you wasn't that type of person. You were groomed that way. When women get into these relationships, and I've been around so many women in my lifetime, and I done studied. I might look oblivious to it, but I was up and observing. I was observing these women. I'm like, how is they pretending to be something, and then as soon as they get around homies or get around people that don't really know what they're doing, then they'll sit there and they'll start talking all kinds of garbage. I mean, what I just came out of a situation around a serious manipulator, and she was a woman, and that woman was my son's baby mama. I just came from around that situation. My son very overbearing, and I'm going to use them, and they already know. I already told them, you cross me, you're going to be exposed. But see, I was on surveillance with them because I was observing the situation, because looking at these narcissistic channels. And then I had my brother with 2 women that he was doing this to. Then I had my sister that she was doing it to these men. So I know how it go. I've been around it. My mother, my grandfather, my uncles, my cousins. My family is straight demons. They are straight attached to the demonic tower. They do nothing more, nothing less but sin every day. They wake up and go to sleep to it every day. I lived in it. I lived around it. I was in the midst of it. I had a touch of it my own self. So I know how it go. People just like to be pampered and pat on the back, and then soon as they come and get a little energy out of you because you're going to give them that, oh, I'm sorry. Girl, that's a shame. And once you start engaging in their shenanigans, then you're going to give them energy and a little hope to go back and get right back in the situation. I done seen it. I played a part in it. I'm sitting up here feeling so sorry for these females and thinking these females gonna do right, or they'll tell me I'm done. And then you look up, they ain't done. And you done sat there and financially helped them. You done sat there and ran for them. You done sat there and showed up for them. You done sat there and supported them. And then they go right back in the situation and turn on you. I just came out of it. And this is why I talk so strong and I don't play no games about this, because I done been crossed too much with this. And I'm thinking that these people are really trying to detach, but they're not trying to detach. They're trying to get some supply from somebody else, some energy from somebody else, so they can go right back in the situation again. They don't be done. They lying. They just need somebody to feel sorry for them because the situation they in, they ain't getting what they looking for, or they didn't get what they signed up for. No, I'm not going to be liked on this internet because I don't believe in there's victims or you're stuck. Nobody is stuck in nothing that you had to go through it, because if that's the case, then I will be completely stuck. I should be mentally off my cracker. And I mean, my mental will be the cheese, and the cheese should be off the cracker. My mental should be off my cracker. I've been through it all, or I experienced the aftermath from what people went through. My daughter was on drugs extremely bad. My son that's in prison for murder, he was snorting cocaine extremely bad. My oldest son doing all kinds of drugs his own self extremely bad. I had to endure that stuff. My mother was running the streets on drugs extremely bad. My father was on drugs extremely bad. My family members on drugs, drinking and fornicating, committing adultery, lying, covetous, all kinds of stuff, molestation, all kinds of stuff, extremely bad. I experienced all of this stuff for 43 years of my life. Inside jobs, not outside jobs, inside jobs. So can't nobody tell me that you can't overcome, or you got to remain a product of that environment. You don't have to. You don't have to. And all this traditional garbage need to go in the garbage too. Well, if you come out the home and you got two parents, the child, statistics say the child will come out good. That's a lie, because I came out of a home with nothing. And I'm well disciplined. I got mad self-control. I got very high confidence. And why? Because the Holy Spirit gave it to me. The Holy Spirit helped me rebuild what they try to destroy, my temple. So I know the things that they say on this internet is garbage. Statistics, garbage. Google, garbage. Heavenly Father, use my one vessel to go through all of that from the age 7 as I can remember, when I can remember and the trauma starts sticking, to the age of 44 when I got awakened. So nobody can't tell me that you got to stay stuck. MPD, garbage. Hi, Miss Candace. PTSD, childhood traumas, garbage. Laying in a dysfunctional relationship, garbage. I've been through it all, dealing with children on heavy drugs, robbing, stealing, taking, while I'm asleep, breaking in, all that garbage. People can't tell me you can't overcome. It's garbage to me. When people say, oh no, you don't understand, garbage. Because now you are immediately judging and you haven't even asked anything. This is where a lot of people stay stuck in situations. This is why a lot of people go to therapy, because they want to remain a victim. There's no such thing as victims. No such thing. Everything the Almighty take us through and have us to go through, He will not waste one pain or one incident. Okay, I put it up. Just give me time when I get off. I'm gonna IG. God dog it. I don't like Instagram. I don't, Miss Candace. I don't like Instagram. Instagram is nothing but a sexual. It's basically like TikTok. The only reason why I go on TikTok is because I can make a video and I can just post. But these channels, And I do Facebook because it's family over there, and I just want to shine my light in their little foolishness. That's the only reason why I still hold on to Facebook, because ain't nothing but a whole bunch of my cowardly family watch me over there, and I just get on there. I haven't been on there in a while, but I went on there about May last month, and I only went up there is because my son and his baby mama pulled a little game. See, that them demons thought that I was gonna just let it slide because of the title son. No, I don't let no title slide, son or no grandkids or no grandkids. But I got up there on there. I got on that last month for a reason. But I'm gonna go back on there. But I don't like these social medias because they're too fake. And I only get on YouTube because YouTube, I can get up here. I ain't got to watch too many fake channels. Only channels I watch on YouTube is spiritual channels that talks about energies, frequencies, or chosen one channels, or twin flame channels, or, things that I normally go through or feel. I ain't lying. Yes. Yeah, Facebook is good because that's for my family. I go up there and post something so them demons can know that I ain't going nowhere. And not talking about the individual itself, but the strongholds that they still hooked to. But IG, I never did care for IG. IG ain't nothing but been if you are lustful, IG ain't where you want to go. Because all you're going to stroll, you're going to see a naked woman with her legs open. Or you'll see a man with his ding ding hanging out, or you'll see a man that look like a woman with a ding ding print. I'm like, if any parent let their kids have IG, I feel sorry for them. Or Snap. I came off a Snap because I got tired of when I opened up a Snap, the man got his tools out there like he working on himself, or in a shower stroking his pole. And I'm like, you act like that's gonna move me. I'm under control with my lust. And if I wasn't under control with my lust, your body would not make me go into a porno state. You get what I'm saying? So, like with social media, I love YouTube because you can pick and choose what video you're going to hit. And YouTube ain't going to let too many. Well, I haven't ran into anything yet like that because I haven't been looking for it. But one thing I love about YouTube, it's not going to put all this PORN, because I got to be careful when I say it like that though, but put all of these XX rated videos up here and that's all you see. And see, I love YouTube because YouTube got a certain guideline, but even TikTok got a certain guideline now, but they about to shut down, they say September the 5th, and a lot of people saying it. And one thing I know, when a lot of people say it and they got information on it, it's going to happen. I don't care about that because TikTok is the same way. A whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that. It's a lot of distractions, and especially, but I do got an IG, but I'm not on it right now. I do have it deleted off my phone because I'm not with all of that sexual and hurting people. And soon as you stroll on there, you watching a woman with her legs wide open, or she bend over shaking her butt in a thong. Man, no. No, I don't even shake it no more. What I want to look at another woman shaking it for? If I'm gonna shake it, if I want to watch somebody shake it, I'll go get me a mirror and I'll put me on a thong and I'll shake my own booty. I'm not watching that. I'm not into that. But I do have an IG, but I will start my lives on Facebook, and like I said, I'm here on YouTube starting it because I have to do what I got to do for the Almighty. I'm not saying I like doing this. I'm not gonna lie, I don't. I really don't, because if I could just be by myself, shut away by myself, and I do like being around people, but once I start getting around people, their demons start coming out. You get what I'm saying? But I'm being honest, Miss Candace. I just can't do the sexual thing. Like, men, they up there with their penis, or you will actually see them having intercourse on IG. And I'm like, who lets a platform be this wide open? Like, won't y'all go sign up for PORN Hub? Go sign up for them XX rated movie channels. This should not be on social media. It shouldn't be so free. You get what I'm saying? It's too free. We got kids. And it's a lot of kids on IG. All you see is a lot of guns on IG. You see a lot of gang members on IG. You see a lot of rappers promoting drugs and alcohol and sex. That is a distraction to our children. Our children are going to immediately get really like, oh, my grandson, and this is a prime example. My grandson is 8 years old. My grandson I got him a tablet when he turned 6. And I say, this is tablet, for learning, reading, things that he needed for. Because I got platforms and ain't nothing X-rated on these platforms. I'm not even watching that because ain't nobody about to wake my flesh back up at all. But you can have a certain control over that platform. Yes, absolutely, Miss Candace. Absolutely. You don't find that often. You don't. And I noticed that you're real because the way you talk. Yeah, but you can't find people, even people that sound real. And then by me being, open to the world and open, like I'm an open camera, the Almighty be like, listen carefully. And I listen and I'll be like, they not real. Then they'll say something like, that's why I stopped watching narcissistic channels. I just don't do them no more. I got NPD. What is NPD? Narcissistic personality disorder. What's a disorder? A disorder is something that'll never go away. That's a lie. That's a lie. And I'll be like, that is a lie. That's just like I hear people say, I'm an alcoholic and I'm going to always be an alcoholic. But they don't drink no more. Yeah, you can go back if you out of control or you just don't want to stay anchored in being conditioned or being disciplined. Yeah, if you ain't anchored, it's easy to go back to anything. But when you're anchored, you're not going to go back to it. Even when my body and this is real talk, when my body get real hot and it feel like it wants some sex, it's easy for me to go out here and get somebody to lay with. That's very easy. It's many people out here on, absolutely, Miss Candace, from the pits of hell. And that's what she said if y'all watch me on the replay. Miss Candace said, from the pits of hell, absolutely. That is a stagnation. That is telling the Almighty Satan is way stronger than he is. And you're going to have consequences behind that. And it's sad because if that's the case, I should have CPTSD with childhood traumas. I don't have no childhood traumas. Even when the devil tried to get my mama to reopen my traumas or make me relive what she did to me, I stood firm. I anchored myself in that storm. I was like, you're not going to make me feel like what you put me through. Then she used to say little things like, y'all was adopted. Y'all ain't my children. I said, I ain't your child. She said, what? It stunned her. Because, see, I never said anything to her. We used to just laugh it off. We used to be like, Mom, you crazy. Why you keep saying that? Because you ain't my kids. Y'all adopted. I said, well, let me find out. That's what I used to say. Let me find out. But we used to laugh it off. But this last time before she passed away, she said it in the house, y'all adopted. I say, I am. You're not my mother. I said, I just came through your body. I was sent by the Heavenly Father. And he needed your body to get me here on earth. She did like that. My brother and them looked at me. My brother, he always was curious about the way I talk. So he would be like, he wondered what I'm going to say next. He always been fond of the way I speak. But the enemy had him being envious of the way I spoke. But my brother within, he like Siobhan, his wives, he had 2 wives, not at the same time, but he married one, divorced one, married one, divorced one. Now he divorced both of them, and all he doing now is running between the both. Dummies. But anyways, he would be very fond and very close to me. When the enemy see somebody is getting close to a person or want to be close to a person, if he still got control over that person, he'll come through it. And he did that with my brother. I was very like I be heard about my daughter and my children. My brother was just like a child. Like I took him under my wing because we were extremely close. But when the enemy could use him to get rid of me, them women in his ear, oh, you don't disrespect your sister, but you'll disrespect us. Why she get a pass? And his head, his ego, like, yeah, why she is getting a pass. So what he do, he listened to his ego and he came against me. Now he lost me. I'm not never going back to them people. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Them people put so much pain on me. They did not realize the last draw for me because the old me just kept coming back. You know, he said a couple of things. I let it slide. I let him slide without apology. I let my mother slide without apology. But this last time, November 2023, I said, no, y'all ain't sliding no more. I got to take my power back because y'all trying to destroy me instead of, growing with me. So I had to take my power back. They made all kinds of fake pages and it was just so ugly for a good 2023 to now. They may be watching me. I have to go up in the air and go into my box because I can't remember. I can't be remembering all these dates. These days, I mean, I went through a lot. But it didn't stop me from being me. And they couldn't take me away from me, even down to my children. I thought about my baby boy last night, and I was like, man, I could feel his energy and the regret that I wished I listened to mom. I wished I listened to her. And I kept telling my baby boy, I said, listen, people see that you got guts. People see that you're courageous. People see your bravery. People going to use that to make you feel like you are over them. They put you on a pedestal so they don't have to go through the valley themselves. No, mom, you saying this. You just don't want me to have friends. You always saying this because you ain't got no friends. Ain't nobody want to be like you. Ain't nobody want to. Oh, it was just so ugly when I used to say stuff. And I used to just go off. I mean, I wouldn't break in front of them, but I'd go off in the bathroom, pour me a shot of vodka, and I keep it 100, pour me a shot of vodka and get in the bathroom, close the door. I always had my me time, but my me time was, I'm in pain. So I think I'm using alcohol to, hi Samantha, good morning. I'm using alcohol to ease the pain. So I go in there and pour me a shot of vodka, take my half a gallon. I used to drink Rain. It's a vodka called Rain with it was a nice, beautiful bottle. I grabbed that Rain, go in there and pop the cork, pour that vodka in and had my little canned Pepsi because I needed a chase. I'm not good. I wasn't good with just drinking straight vodka. And I get in there and I drink and just cry. Because I never told them nothing about my childhood. I never threw. So they never known that I grew up as a painful child. They never knew that. So I'm like, man, Heavenly Father. So I would drink the pain. I start drinking my pain away. I start drinking at the age of 35 years old. So now I'm starting to drink, using it as a coping mechanism. And, like, I don't care no more. Got to that state. I don't care. And as they start bringing pain, I was like, why is they bringing pain? They will get out in the streets while I'm working. When I come home, they have the house intact. I wasn't paying any attention because love is blinded sometimes. And love is blinded when you don't have no boundaries. So when you don't have no boundaries, you can't really see. You thinking that you taught them something good, it's going to stick. But I didn't understand the spiritual side. So, and for a while, they got over. Even when my son got locked up and I was giving him all this big money, he got on the phone one day. He said, this is my baby boy. He said, I'm going to tell you this. We got over on you for a very long time. I said, why would you say that to me? He said, we did, Mom. We got over on you for a very long time. I said, okay, since we want to be honest with each other. This was in 2019. I said, when I went through the awakening, I said, since we want to be honest with each other, I say, tell Mommy, what made you start being so angry? What made you want to shoot people's houses up? What made you want to rob people? What made you want to break in people's houses and take their electronics and stuff like that and steal people's phones? And this is the stuff I had to endure for a long time. And breaking people's houses. Police is at my house. They tracking iPhones to my house. My son was breaking and entering. Him and my daughter, they was doing this for years. 2 to 3 years tops. Non-stop. And I was like, what made you do that? He said, Mom, he said, is you ready for the truth? I was like, yeah, I'm always down for the truth. He said, cocaine. I said, cocaine? He said, but Vonnie went a step further. I said, what you mean a step further? He said, Vonnie smoked. I smoked what? She smoked crack. And then I start sitting there thinking, her look, her change. Yes, not wanting to bath in the streets 3 and 4 days at a time. Yeah. I'm thinking she just doing straight cocaine because that's what she told me. She told me off the rip, I snort cocaine. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, you're going down a portal now. And she start robbing, breaking in my house while I'm at work. Her and her ex-boyfriend, they're coming in the house through the back door. They took my safe. I've been through it. They took a lot of stuff from me. Took my guns that I had to get legal with the papers on it. Took them. I had to call the FBI and report it stolen. I went through it. I went through some stuff. And I know how it feels when you love somebody and you have to let it go because now they're being taken by Satan. My daughter and them was taken by Satan. They got out there with their friends. My son started hanging around with them boys in school when he went to Lumberton High, Fairmont High. They started skipping school, breaking in houses. I'm going to the police station, dealing with those prejudiced sheriff officers. It was crucial on my life. I just had surgery when he went and broke into church and took all the phones, the collection plate. I went through it. I know what drugs will do to an individual. When these individuals start acting up and start disappearing and start breaking in houses and start becoming criminals, it's something attached to why they're in a criminal type of mindset. You're just not going to be a criminal just to be a criminal. It's something going to take you there. And I was like, what are y'all on? And I'm running crazy. I got to put up 500 here, put up 1,000 here, put up 5,000 here, put up this here, get my daughter out one time. And then she started getting her old men to get her out. They bailing her out of jail. She started hanging in the streets, toting guns, all on Facebook with guns. My son all on IG with guns. It was crazy. My life was always a crazy event. And here I am still being resilient, still trying to work. I'm going to bond them out of jail. They're going to jail from school. Listen, when I tell y'all, it was no playing with me in my lifetime. And then when he went to jail and he was like, where's sis at? I was like, she running crazy through the streets. I was like, I got to leave North Carolina. I got to go back to Maryland. Don't leave me, Mom. Don't leave me here. And I'm like, I'm on a crossroad. I'm in the middle of a crossroad. God is calling me this way. Satan calling me on this way. Satan calling me that way. Satan calling me this way. But God calling me forward. I said, I got to go forward. So you're going to choose God over me? This is what my baby boy used to say. I was like, of course. F God. He used to cuss him too. I said, we're not talking no more. And I would put phone down on a collect call. And I would cry. I would bawl my eyes out. And I say, Heavenly Father, what kind of journey is this? I'm losing loved ones. I got to walk away from my children. It was like I was swallowing golf balls. Have to detach from my children that I loved it so much that I gave all that I had because I didn't have. This is what society teaches you. To give all of you and sabotage you. I'm giving all of me, even when my son was like, stay with my ex, when I told y'all about, he said he had the money to bond him out of jail if I just take him back. Oh man. See, I never cried. These emotions was very different for me. And crying was not a thing first. I always took violence for my coping mechanism. But after I got born again by the Holy Spirit, these emotions that come out of nowhere because crime came out of nowhere. I would go to funerals and everybody in there, oh, and they crying. I'd be like, these, what are they crying for? And they'd be looking at me, they'd be like, you hurt? And no, who cares about that? This how cold I used to be, not knowing that it was trauma. But those people hurted me real bad. So if they died, I was like, good, gone. One less enemy on the earth. Bye. So the family stopped telling me about funerals. They stopped telling me that funerals were there. They goodbye, they gone. They were cruel, but they was only cruel to me. Everybody else, they had it good. And I'm like, why they only cruel to me? My grandfather, cruel to me. His girlfriend, cruel to me. But everybody in the household, they treated good. My mother, cruel to me. But everybody in the household was good. No, oh no. My family, My daughter, I cried. I'm going to explain why I cried when I put the phone down with my son. Because as I got awakening, my family got it, period. I always told my family, y'all know better. Y'all know more better than these people out here in the world. I would give the people out here in the world a chance. I would. Strangers, I never had too many people cross me. You'll never hear me talk about people in the world. People in the world never crossed me the way my family did. And I never hurt strangers because strangers don't know us like our family know us. My family never got a pass. The reason why I cried, because I knew my children was going to hell. When I put that phone down, I cried because I knew my children was in portals that they don't understand. Cocaine is a serious portal. Not too many people gonna come back from that drug. Crack, not too many people gonna come back from that drug. My daughter is a prime example. She died. Not too many people gonna come back off of heroin. I cried because I knew a portal. My son in prison for killing somebody. I knew that demon gonna take him out because I know he gonna either get killed or killed while he in jail. I cried because I knew the portals that they are in is very strong, and I may lose my kids forever. That's why when I put that phone down, I cried. When I took that vodka and carried it in that bathroom and I figured out what they were going through, I cried because I grew up around it all my life. And I'm like, it's in my kids now. It's going to be unstoppable because now they done got a taste of it. I try to keep them away from it, but now they done got a taste of it and now they're connected to that portal. I know that portal ain't got nothing good in it. And I cried because I know now it's getting ready to be serious. And I tried to stop it, but I was too late because they had already been doing it before it got exposed to me. But my family never got a pass. Never. Ever. That's why I moved away from them and end up down South Carolina because I told my kid's father, which is deceased, I told him, I said, I can't be around them no more. I don't want to be around them people. Them people ain't lovable. They don't have no compassion. We used to always get into it. Me and my family always got into it. But the thing about that, we used to always come back together without apologizing or without me holding them to accountability or without holding them to, telling me that they're sorry for using me. So I used to go away, put distance between us. And then about 2, 3 months, 7 months, 8 months, I'll go and call them up or they'll call me up and then we'll mend back together. But we will always ram heads because I would call them out always on what they did. But the thing was, I would reunite without any accountability or without us talking about the situation or is we going to grow from it or I'm going to have to grow away from it. I never did that. But this time, as I got awakening and the Almighty allowed me to see the surface for what it was, they couldn't believe that this new me exists. Because my son used to always say, I like the old you. See, the old me didn't have boundaries. The old me didn't have standards. The old me just did a lot of arguing, a lot of fussing. Maybe we're going to throw hands, and then I'm going to go away. Then I'm going to come back, and we're going to be happy again. We're going to live happily ever after, but the pain is still there. The pain is still in the environment, but we're going to overlook it because we done detached. You know, playing narcissistic games, toxic games, dysfunctional games. But this new me refuse to play those games anymore. So this is where they cannot fathom that I mean what I say. She's gone. In their heads, really, in their heads right now, they like, she gonna come back. She just gonna go away for a while. She'll be back. This is what they're thinking because I did this over 42 years with them. And they thinking in their head, oh, she coming back. It's not sitting with them. It might be, you know, they might cross a thought because I feel it sometimes. It'll cross a thought. But their delusional side saying, oh, she coming back. Or she out there in the streets right now. She'll come back to us. Absolutely not. I am done. And this is where they can't fathom it, that I'm out here. Because normally I don't do this. But the Almighty said, follow me. So guess what I'm doing? I'm following the Almighty God. They can't believe that because we never talked about God either. So it's Miss Candace, I understood. I tell y'all, I know I mess up with text messages all the time. I believe me. And I'm sorry about you losing your son, Sunshine. Sorry about that. And it's so many women that lost their children. When I lost my daughter, I started talking about losing my daughter to people, and I was amazed how many mothers before I even experienced losing a child lost children, and how they are bitter behind it, or they angry with God behind it, or they hate other children behind it. I've been around a lot of women. It was this particular spiritual lady. She go to church on Sundays. She prayed. She can speak in tongues. She can get up and pastor behind the pulpit. But behind closed doors, and this is coming from my ex-family, she lost her twin daughter. And she was in some serious negative marriages. And one of her daughters got molested. And in my head, I'm thinking that this lady is for God. She's beautiful. You know, she's got a good spirit. On the outside world, people loved at her. I even drawn to her on her outside self. But once I got to know her because of my ex, that was his family. And, you know, in families, we got somebody in that family that is something of the devil. That's going to pretend to be something they're not. So I'm observing them. I'm always observing. I never talk. I just sit back and drink and watch, you know. And I'm watching everybody frequencies and actions. And one particular day she came, and it was just me and her and a little kid. But one thing about people, when they get very comfortable, or when they think you're naive to an environment, you know, when you look oblivious, but you're actually observing. See, I'm an observer, but I don't mention nothing about, you know, that I'm not catching it. I'm just connecting dots that other people don't see. So I'm just around watching, you know, and, you know, I'm very kind. See, my softness make people believe that I'm not aware. I'm very much aware, but awareness don't speak loud. I don't have to speak loud about being aware. Awareness means you can stay quiet and be aware all at the same time. So this little kid, and my kid too, it was one incident with my son, but we'll get there in a minute. She was talking reckless to the child. She thought that I was drunk up, that I didn't pay any attention, but I didn't want her to believe I was paying any attention. So she was cruel to the kid. And I'm like, get over here. And it was her great nephew. Get over here. Sit down. And I was like, ooh, she got anger issues. And with children. So I didn't know anything about what she lost before until I mentioned it to my ex. And I called my ex P. His name was Pernell, but I said P. So after everything was said and done and the party was over, you know, the family little functions, we threw a lot at the house in North Carolina. Everything settled. Me and him was sitting up talking because we always talked about what went down in the party and family or whatever. Me and him always chopped it up, conversated about it. So I asked him a question. I said, P, let me ask you something. I said, what did your auntie, I don't want to call her name out, she's deceased, she passed away. I said, what did your auntie go through when she was a child, or her marriages, or what happened? Anything happened to her children, or what happened? He was like, what made you just ask that question? I said, because I saw something. I said, answer it. That's how I used to talk to him. We talk like that. Answer it. He was like, no, I'm not saying it like that. He was like, because how did you see that? I was like, can you answer the question? He had a peculiar laugh that it just, and he smoked cigarettes bad. So he had a little cigarette and he'd be like, girl, you be, that's how he used to act. I was like, oh, I know something. You got something you want to tell me. Come on, tell me I seen what I seen. It was like, okay. He said her second husband killed her twin. And they took the children and put them in foster care. Her first husband killed one of the twins, one of their children. He was in the military, and they was on posting somewhere in Mississippi, and he was watching the twin girls. He killed one 9-month-old baby. It was in a year of age. Killed the kid, beat it, killed it. And I was like, but if he beat that child, she had to see some type of, abuse out of him before she even had kids from him. Because that's one thing about abuser. Before you have kids from them abusers, they're going to be abusive. He was like, what made you say that? I said, because I lived it. My kid's father was abusive, but I still had kids from him. But he was abusive. So he didn't abuse the kids, thank God for that. But he was abusive to me. I said, so he was abusive all the way around, children and all. I said, so how was him and his mom? He was like, his mom always listened to him as a mama's boy. I was like, okay, it's connecting dots, but how was his dad? His dad was an abuser, okay? I'm trying to connect the dots of what put him here. So he was like, Siobhan, where did you get in there? He was like, you're like an FBI. I was like, no, because I'm trying to get to why she's pretending to be with God, but she still has some hidden anger. She still have some hidden issues, but she playing like she putting all of it on, the men, but she's no longer with these men. Why is she now still acting like what she's saying these men are, or what these men were to her? Why is she abusive to her kids, her grown kids at that? So he's like, that's a good question. I was like, no, I'm trying to get to the bottom. I'm always deep. I'm a deep thinker. So he was like, we chopping it up. Now we're going to be up for a while. So we go grab, and this is the truth. Everything is a true event. I'm telling y'all about, never sugarcoat it, never trying to exaggerate it. I might leave some information out because I'm talking fast. But we go grab a bottle of rain. He got his glass. I got my glass. I got my chaser, which would be a Pepsi. He just drank straight vodka and his pack of cigarettes. I didn't smoke like that, but at the time I used to smoke cigarettes every now and again. So I told him, I said, give me one of them Newports. I'm going to fire it with you. I used to smoke just to be cool with it. So we sitting there talking. So now I'm getting information, because now my mind is wondering, my inner self. So he giving me all the information because that's his family. He know the inside because his mother going to tell him. So he went down and he was like, yeah, her second husband. Now, the first man wasn't her husband. That's her oldest daughter's father. But he was on drugs. Okay, connect the serial note. Connect, that's a dot. He on drugs. Okay, military. Okay, there's a trend here. Women love military men. All right, boom, boom. All right, military, bam. her second relationship with her first husband, military. Boom, military men. Okay, she got a fetish for military men. Bam. Her third relationship, second husband, military man. Boom, he's a molester, child killer. The first boyfriend, but not a husband, military. All three of these men are military. What's significant about a military man? All right, mama, my ex boyfriend, his mother, military. He came out the military, so she ended up with the man that killed her son from her sister's boyfriend, now was husband, which was my ex-father. He introduced her to his buddy. Crazy. That man was crazy. He killing kids. All right. Why would he have friends like that? All right. Then his father, he's a drug addict. Why mom stay in the relationship with him as absolute secure? Absolutely. Come on, Miss Candace. Come on. Come on. Man, I ain't even got to talk no more. I ain't even got to talk no more. Look, I was trying to give it all down, but come on. Come on. These military men and women ain't nothing but for security. Them women were bound to them men just for security. Give me 1 second, y'all. Security purposes. And I'm like, the first man military, he's on drugs. He's deceased too. The second one that she made her husband, she moved to Mississippi with, he deceased now. He's no longer here. She's no longer here. The third relationship, military man, he's still living, but he still got child molesting under his belt because that's gonna always be with him. And I'm like, why does she keep choosing, like you said, security? And she used to say it. She even had her kids going into the military. And this is how childhood grooming, childhood programming, childhood instillment happens. This is how the lineage does. Mama love military men. Mama know that's a security. Mama gonna put her children in the military because the military gonna cover mama. So mama lazy. I'm just being honest. Mama lazy. When I start looking at situations as me, he telling me all this information, I was like, now it makes all type of sense. But they was using God, going to church on Sundays, reciting scriptures, clapping hands, pretending that they were for God, but they were wolves. I mean, they were sheep. I mean, is it wolves in sheep clothing? Yes, wolves in sheep clothing. So they were pretending. So I kept telling my ex, I was like, they're not who they say they are. That's an issue. So now I'm not liking them now because they're not original. They're not authentic. So then I start watching the patterns with her children and her grandchildren. And after her oldest daughter passed away, and I had told the little baby, which I still talk to her daughters, I told the daughters, I was like, your family gonna be against you when your mom passed. Grandmama, when her own daughter passed, which they tormented that child. She was my bestie. Now that was my bestie. I got her name tattooed on my arm because they sent that girl into death. They did all kinds of things to that young lady. But the daughters was left behind. Guess what grandmama did? Grandmama got them a job at the age of 14 years old, and them little girls worked all the way up from 14 to now. She got them into college. She supported them. She supported their careers and everything. Now she passed away. Them girls going down the drain. You know why they going down the drain? Because they were never on a frequency of authentic. They was being manipulated, wrapped into I love you. The demon was undercover in a form of I love you. I want nothing but the best for you. I want you to be successful. I want you to be smart. I want you to be intelligent. But spiritually, God was not in the midst of that. That was a demon wrapped up in falsehood. And I told my ex, I said, all of this right here in your family, Now, that's one thing about my family they didn't do. They didn't play with God. They straight demons. And I broke it down to him, and he got upset. He went through the roof on me, so I jumped up. We drunk now. We drunk now. Oh, hey, liquor talking now. Our demons up now. Get up. He got in my face. I got in his face. I pushed him straight through the screen door. Woo. Boom. Because he stumbled too much. He consumed more than I did. Pushed him straight through the screen door. Because I got all my information now. Now I know how to take these people. Because an incident happened from my son. Because my son said they screamed at him. And I was like, who screamed at you? I went over there and, I pushed him straight through the screen door. I ain't lying. Our liquor got talking to us. And I was very violent when I drank. I was a violent woman when I drank. It seemed like that liquor say, that demon, once you get that demon drunk and you get that flesh good and toasty, because it's in the flesh. And the spirit going to take over because it's the frequency that you're holding. And as soon as I got that alcohol in me, man, it didn't go right no more. My soberness was beautiful, but my alcoholic side was ugly. I pushed them straight through the screen door. I did. We had to get a new screen door. It was all right. It was cool. It was cheap. But I got my information. And as I start looking and observing, I just would be quiet. And then I said, now let me check the whole family. It's dysfunctional. And I used to tell them, my family never played with God. Why y'all be playing with God? If y'all say this God that y'all talk about before I know him, now like I know him, this guy that y'all talk about that is so powerful that would take your life, y'all sitting up here pretending that y'all with him and you're not? Then mama, oh, Siobhan, you always got something to say. I say, yeah, I do, and you were lying. You a liar. Don't you talk to my mama like that. I said, I tell my own mama that. So why am I hold back on your mama for? Y'all are liars. There we go. I mean, this was events all the time. And I just got tired of it. I was like, nobody want to be themselves. And he got to the point, well, you talking about my mom, you don't like my mom. I don't. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I like your mom and I don't like your mom. I don't like your mom. And I don't like you. Oh, so you don't like nobody. I don't. I like your daughter, but I don't like you. And it just start going downhill because now I see the front end. And once I see your front end, I can't be around fakery. I don't care how long I'm in a relationship. If you show me that you're fake, I can't deal with you. I got to move. I got to get out your way because now what are you hiding more? What more secrets you got that you ain't telling me? So with him, he would run to this chick all the time. Oh, yeah, it's sad. It's real sad. And he would run to this chick. I moved to his hometown. And I always told him, I'm a dangerous woman. I'm not who you think I am. Oh, what you mean by that? Everybody dangerous. I said, everybody do got a dangerous side, but you don't know how dangerous I am. I used to always say that. I moved to his hometown. I know it's going to take me some time to understand who's what is who. I got a big personality. So I can move anywhere and get the job done. So I'm moving around and I'm learning, and I have to take what he's going to bring to the table because that's the only way that I'm going to discover and get in to his soul. So I had to understand who he was. So you have to sit back and take. I wasn't taking it because I was naive or I was gullible, I was desperate. No, I had to take them blows because I got to understand who I'm dealing with, with the individual. So when I got there, we moved with his mom, me and my 2 kids. So I'm like, oh man, I'm moving with somebody. I never moved with nobody mama. I'm like, oh man, I'm living with this man mama. I'm 34 years old. I ain't got no business living with this man mama. But I endured it because I want to get close to mama too. I want to see what she about also. Get in there and learn, and then he start moving around, going here, going there. I'm going out with my homeboys. Go for it. That's because I ain't got friends. I don't mean I'm going to stop you from having friends. I always been that way. Boom, 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 move around. Tom getting in there. Yeah, absolutely. You can see who they really are. You're going to have to take some pain. But one thing about 98% of this world, they'll take the pain and stay in it. I'm not taking the pain to stay in it. I'm taking the pain because I'm about to rearrange the pain. And when I do walk out, you're not going to be able to handle me moving away. Because the way I move and the way I'm built, and I'm built like this for almighty purpose, it's just like an undercover cop. It's a little bug in here, y'all. I'm trying to get that bug out of here. It's just like an undercover cop. An undercover cop got to go in like they that person. And or camouflaging their self. I don't know why. I'm trying not to kill it. I'm trying to keep it so I can go bother somebody else. An undercover cop. I remember you, Sunshine. Hey, baby cakes. An undercover cop goes in a scene to get comfortable. They actually be hidden in plain sight. This is how the Almighty do in all assignments. He brings his chosen children and hide us in plain sight. He makes us fit the narrative. He makes us fit in with the masses. But we're not these people. So we sit in a long period of time because it depends on how much grace the Almighty is about to give this situation. But we're not in it to stay in it because we already know that the Almighty is on assignment. I didn't know it till now that I was on assignment. I didn't understand how I can detach from a 10-year, a 14-year, a 7-year relationship, how I can detach from family members that I known for 42 years of my life, and now I can detach from these people and be cold turkey. Hi, Sunshine. You all right? How can be cold turkey? How can just cold turkey leave these people? That's weird. And it is weird because I know people all my life. Like I said, I done dealt with, let me turn some air on, y'all. I done dealt with thousands and millions of people, and people ain't cutting their family off unless it's from death or something like that. They're not going to walk away cold turkey from a whole entire family nor their children. They're not going to do it. They're not going to walk away from them. I'm doing well, love. How you doing, baby doll? Baby boy. They're not going to walk away from them. I don't care what anybody say. It ain't nobody going to walk away from their family members, and especially their children, cold turkey, and just leave them out. Just not it. Hold on. Turn their back on them, or a cousin that y'all chopped it. Somebody in the family you're going to be family with. I ain't family with none of my family. After I got them folks in that funeral and told them I cut the whole complete family off, no cousins, no second, third, fourth, fifth, eighth, 10th, 12th, nothing. I don't want no parts because I know, I love you too, baby. I don't want no parts because I know y'all gonna go back and you're gonna be friends with them and they're gonna be friends with you. Okay. But I had to cut my son off. I had to cut both of my sons off. And believe me, I did not. I had to cut my grandkids off. That is serious. And I'm never going back. Never. Ever. And I mean that the Almighty can take my life. And the only reason why, if you ever see me back, is because they have changed their lives and their consistency matches their words. I'm not never going back. Grandkids, children, I don't care who they are. I'm done. Now, my baby boy that's in prison, he repented. He taking accountability. He working on himself. If he show me he doing it, but we ain't around each other. He got snatched from me at the age of 19 years old, and we were not in the midst of not liking each other. He got ripped from me when I wasn't even ready. My daughter got ripped from me. I was ready, but I wasn't ready for the drug life to take her away. My oldest son, he got ripped from me at the age of 15. So, no, not too many people gonna do it. Anybody else, easy. I ripping away from my mother. Who's gonna want to rip away from their mom? Nobody. We were born to love these people. We were born to take care of these people, or these people take care of us. Who gonna rip away from their complete family? Nobody. I done been around the strongest people that I thought was strong. These narcissist people, they not gonna rip away. And the only reason why I ripped away is because I was born again and remained obedient to the Almighty. But did that hurt? Yes, that ripping hurt. That was a piece of meat that was snatched off. And I haven't met nobody with this type of strength. I haven't met them yet. And I want to meet that person with this type of strength that I got right now. That ripped away from everything, had to leave the whole old identity and get a new identity. And the new identity got to start from the bottom. In the mud. I ain't got nothing right now. But my Lord in heaven. But my Heavenly Father. I ain't got nothing. And I'm like, well, how about this happen? I ain't got nothing. I can't go back to nothing. I can go back. But if I go back, it's going to be some issues. I'm going to have to bring my old stuff back. So I got to leave that old 44 years up. Well, no, I'm 50. I got to leave all of that 48 years of knowing everything in my life behind. God dog it. I don't know nobody did that yet. That's deep. That's deep. Walked away from the whole old thing. 48 years of all I known was that. No, 49 because I'm 50. My last transformation was November the 29th. I just turned 50 February the 4th. 49 years of knowing nothing but a false life. And now, this last transformation, I got to leave 49 years of grooming, programming, instilling, comfort zone. I got to leave all of 49 years of my life of knowing all of that behind. God dog it. That's deep. That's so deep. And I mean, when I say leave everything behind, everything. Everything. I am on ground zero. Rebirth. I got to leave everything. It ain't nothing that I had from 49 to now. Everything that I had is gone. People, places, and things. All of that 49 years is gone. I'm on 50, my first beginning of my life. This is my rebirth right now. Just the beginning of my life. I'm moving. Talking about you got to move. This is what I'm talking about. I had to leave it all behind. And this is where people going to stumble. People going to fall at, because you got to leave jobs. You got to leave houses. You got to leave materialistic things. You got to leave family. You got to leave friends. You got to leave you. And what I mean by you, the old ways of thinking, the old ways of moving, the old ways of talking. It's a total rebirth for me. That's what I mean if I'm not explaining it well. That's what I'm talking about. Leaving it all behind. Everything that I known in my whole entire life, I had to leave it behind. 49 years of knowing. And it took 6 years from attachments to get the attachments settled and stern and anchored. It took me 6 years to adapt to what I had to leave behind. That's what I mean. If I'm putting it in a way y'all not understand it, I'm sorry because I talk different, but that's what I mean. It took me, my rebirth, it took me from 2019 to now to get anchored, grounded, and rooted, and adjusting to leaving all of the old behind, starting over completely fresh in the new for the almighty purposes. That's what I mean. If I'm making y'all feel like y'all ain't doing something, y'all are. But I'm just saying, this is what I'm talking about for myself, because people do got a good cutoff game. Don't get it twisted. That's not what I mean by not saying that y'all don't. But I'm saying what I'm speaking about is rebirth. like leaving it all. Give me 1 second, y'all. All behind. I'm not saying y'all ain't got a good cutoff game. That's why the Almighty just told me rearrange how I speak. Let me rearrange how I speak. I'm talking about rebirth. I know y'all got good cutoff game. I know this kid do no Samantha. I know y'all got some people y'all cut off and you walked away. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about a rebirth. What the Almighty, what he required when you walk away. You have to leave it all behind. Okay. I just wanted to say it like that because I don't want y'all to you get what I'm trying to say. I talk fast. Please excuse me. But I'm talking about the rebirth and how painful it was to leave the old me, the whole complete old me behind. It took 6 years for me to get it. So I'm not saying that y'all ain't got no good cutoff game. I'm not saying that y'all won't stand up for y'all self. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that and I'm patched up, y'all. Please believe me. That Jim tear me apart. But with the Almighty, when you follow him, you got to leave everything behind. And I tried to hold on to my boys. I try to hold on to my daughter. I try to hold on to some things I try to hold on to. But walking with him, you got to leave it all behind. And it was painful. But now I understand it because now I'm fully awakened. I'm full blown in my purpose. So now I know if they can't come up to the level I'm on because this is where the Almighty need them to be, I can't be around. And that's now I'm okay and I'm thankful for it and I understand what the Almighty doing, but they're not going to understand that. So that's why they lashed out. They try to keep me down because they didn't want to come up. So I had to understand this going through the rebirth. So this is why all the things that I went through in life, now I can speak on the Almighty purposes. So when people say they stuck or this going to always be, or they try to separate manipulation or separate fornication or separate lies, or people saying that they're the victim, they got in these relationships and they got hurt. No, people don't like me because I'm deep in it. I'm not gonna go by, oh, he hurt me, he cheated on me, he beat on me. Yes, he might show you who he is, or she might show you who she is. But one thing I know, when people have egos and they got that prideful spirit, pride blinds you to the blinds you from the real truth. You that other person's situation, you're only worrying about yours. So when you're dealing with Satan, it's every man for itself. But when you're dealing with God, everybody involved. So with Satan will have you thinking you're the one that is dominant, you're the one that's in control, you're the one that's grandiose, you're the one that got the whole situation on lock. But the Almighty knows different. Like when Pilate told the Messiah, he said, answer me, because I got power to let you loose or to let them crucify you. What did the Messiah tell him? You don't have power over me. The one that I'm about to be handed over to, the one with the greater sin. See, people are not seeing that this is Satan using them to do these things. Being deceived to get deceived. So when these people said, I'm a narcissist, I'm a self-aware narcissist is why you're like this, narcissist is why you're like that. We all have narcissistic traits. Just one is loud, one is calm. One got sweet words, one got bitter words. But it all ends up to sin. That's why the Almighty said in Matthew 6, forgive your debtors as I forgive you your debts. We all got to go into that spiritual mirror and look at our naked selves and cleanse our own selves. Cleanses us. We can't cleanse ourselves. Therapy can't cleanse us. Medication can't cleanse us. He didn't give his only begotten son to sit here and put the creation before the creator. Because the therapist ain't finna die for you. When you about to say that somebody in that house about to kill you, see if your therapist gonna run over there and get in the line of getting shot for you. No, that therapist is gonna tell you call 911. Or did you take your pills today? Oh, well, listen, I'm gonna call me on this certain time, schedule appointment, go online and look on our portal and put up a date in there and reach out to us. Everything is online. Heavenly Father always online. Heavenly Father always online. It ain't no sign in. You always signed in. And when people say I got MPD, I can't get over it, you're not stuck. Yes, they do. Yes, them therapists do got some serious issues. Yes, they do. Hey, I'm a living witness. I got therapists, family members that got bachelor's degrees, master degrees. Honey, they be around here flaunting. Oh yeah, I got this, I got that. They child molesters. They big time liars. They drunken. They snort cocaine. They smoke crack. They very abusive. And I'd be like, man, I got an uncle that's a lawyer. And I'm like, that's one of the ones that molested me. And then he got women that got children and all. And I'm like, I got cousins that's judges. And I'm like, all that coke you snorting and you up there putting people in jail. Oh, Siobhan, mind your business. Oh, okay. I'm a business. Okay. I got a brother that was an athlete and everything. End up a drug dealer and everything else. People look up to him. I'm like, I got a cousin. She a big time therapist in Baltimore, Maryland at a firm. A therapist for the lawyers and the doctors. And I'm like, man, what is these people got this title stuff going on? Yes. You get what I'm saying? So you understand, Miss Candace? Now people get down. When my daughter, give me 1 second, that Miss Candace, y'all. When my daughter was out there in the streets in North Carolina, man, she was like, Mom, I'm going to show you something. Don't scream. Don't say nothing, because she know how I am about truth. She said, Mom, I'm going to show you something. I said, what you finna show me, girl? She in there with the judge. They getting down with cocaine. I said, girl. Then she had the lawyers. She said, this, I'm not going to call their name. I'm not going to do it. But this is such and such. Then she went the devil took her a notch higher. She started sleeping with the pastors in the church. Mom, look at pastors, Reverend such and such. I said, I said, turn that camera around. I said, if you bring my daughter, I said, I'm going to tell your congregation. Come to find out, he slept with all the young women in the congregation. I said, y'all know what? Titles mean nothing to me. Don't tell me about no title. And I forgot, Miss Candace, you do work with them. I said, don't tell me about no title. I don't care about no salaries. I don't care about no vocabularies. These people are very demonic. That's why the Almighty says, do not look at the outward appearance of the man. You got to go within with these people. These people don't want to heal. And they'll go to therapy because that's a shortcut. But when they go cross over to God, you're going to forget about that shortcut, because he gave up his only begotten son. And they beat him like they beat him. And then y'all going to sit around and try to think y'all going to beat the spiritual algorithm. You can't beat the spiritual algorithm. You might can beat this physical algorithm, but you ain't finna beat that spiritual algorithm. I don't care who you are. And the Almighty going to let you go but so far. He going to let them talk on these channels. He gonna let them keep doing what they're doing. That's why y'all seeing all these people pass away on these channels. Y'all seeing a lot of these top-notch celebrities. What are they celebrities for? I'm trying to figure out why y'all looking at a celebrity like they on this pedestal. Y'all got to stop putting people on pedestals. You looking at, oh, that's celebrity. Oh, that's Rihanna. I'm just calling names. Oh, that's Rihanna. Oh, that's A$AP Rocky. Oh, that's Jay-Z. Oh, that's Beyonce. Oh, that's Swiss Beats. Oh, that's T.I. These people are tortured. They cheat. They lie. They manipulate. They fornicate. They commit adultery. They got bad language. They on drugs. They got secrets. And y'all looking up to these people like, what? They God? I don't think so. Y'all looking up to y'all therapy like they God? Or these are professional, what they call them, medical professionals. Cancer. You got diabetes. You got a tumor. You got a withered hand. You got a rash. You got alopecia. Because what did our Messiah say? There is no need for a physician. This is spiritual. And when people say that my psychotherapist, my psycho this, man, get out of here. There ain't no psycho nothing. Your psyche depends on yourself. Your psychotherapist can't tell you how to get your psyche in alignment with the Almighty. That frequency that you on, your psyche gonna always be out of control. You don't need nobody to tell you how to fix your own psyche. Now you're telling me you're powerless. You a wimp. You a punk. You a fag. And not in a sense of homosexuality, but in a sense of you're too soft. Yeah. I wish I would go to a therapist and they tell me, oh, you got MPD. You better get up out of here. I ain't got no MPD, nothing. You ain't sticking no title to me because you done went to therapy or went to school and they told you this is what you put. You ain't put no label on me. I ain't got no childhood traumas. It was just trauma in my childhood. What's wrong with you? Taking no medicine for that. I'm good. Man, you better get on. I ain't got no childhood trauma. That crap ain't sticking to me. You better throw it back in the grave with them, because I didn't ask for it. I ain't got no trauma. And I raised my kids well to the best of my knowledge. And they didn't have no trauma, but they still end up getting out there in them streets going in. So what you want to call that? No, don't let them lie to y'all. And the ones that letting them lie to them because they want to stay stuck and they want to stay that way. They want to have them type of mindsets. They ought to be ashamed of themselves every time they get up here on these videos, and the people that follow them should be ashamed of themselves listening to it, because they let me know that they blind leaders and followers. And they all gonna fall in the ditch just like that. Ain't that right, Miss Candace? Y'all, I love y'all. I gotta go. I gotta go to work. Mwah. I love y'all. See y'all later. Alligators. After a while, what we say, crocodiles. See ya. Kiss y'all babies and family members if you got